President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday in Damaturu, Yobe State capital, assured Nigerians and the international community that the missing 110 Dapchi girls will be rescued or released. Speaking at a meeting in Government House, Yobe, attended by government officials, security and intelligence chiefs, community and religious leaders, President Buhari recounted recent successes recorded by the administration in rescuing Boko Haram hostages. Citing the release of more than 100 Chibok girls, University of Maiduguri lecturers, some women police personnel, students, and an NYSC member, the president declared, "I have no doubt that the Dapchi girls will be rescued or released. I want to reassure parents, the Nigerian and international community that we will do all that is within our powers to make sure that the girls are brought back safely to their families," the president said. President Buhari told the gathering that the federal government is partnering with the international community, including Nigeria's immediate neighbor, to ensure the safe return of the girls. President Buhari, who warned that anyone found to be negligent leading to the abduction of the girls would be punished in accordance with the law, enumerated several steps so far taken in the search and rescue of the missing girls, describing the effort as the best in the given circumstances, adding that it was a marked departure from the attitude of the preceding administration when 276 Chibok schoolgirls were abducted. In his remark, Governor Ibrahim Gaidam of Yobe State commended the president for making Yobe and the Northeast safer and expressed appreciation of the people of the state for the steps being taken by the federal government to bring back their girls. He said the goodwill and support for the president in the state remains unshaken despite the recent incident of the abduction.
The Nigerian Senate has summoned the National Security Advisor to the President, Babagana Mungono, and Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, over a vigilante group recently created by Kogi State government. The Senate specifically asked its Committee on National Security and Intelligence and Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters to invite the officials with a view to disbanding this unconstitutional body. This resolution reached during the Wednesday Senate plenary after Senator Dino Melaye drew the attention of the Red Chamber to the move by Governor Yaya Bello, who he claimed established state police through the back door. Melaye expressed concern that the law establishing the group known as the Vigilante Service Group is in conflict with the Nigerian Constitution.
The Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will not fold our arms and close our eyes where a state government is equipping militia group to raise havoc on innocent citizens. As I speak to you, Mr. President, this group is already killing in every part of Kogi State. There is record of killings in Okene, record of killings in Adavi, there's records of killing in Lokoja, and this group already are carrying AK-47 and pop actions openly. A law that will say you can carry arms and ammunition, and you are not a security agency. Kogi State Vigilante Group is alien to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. They have no role in the Constitution, and this Senate must ensure same.
Supporting the motion, Senate Minority Leader Godswill Akpabio says the activities of Nobelu is an indication of incapability of youth in government.
Kogi again. And then here we are in the Senate trying to make laws to enable the youth who can vote in election to be voted for. And we are seeing a very youthful governor trying to give the impression that we elders should continue to recycle ourselves. Because of the fact that it looks like the youths are not ready. But I do know that the youths of Nigeria are ready to contribute. And to hear that there is a law at all mentioning the idea of people carrying light weapons in a state is not only condemnable, it's something that must be looked into. Because Nigeria has been struggling with the proliferation of arms and light weapons and trying to control it in the entire West African region. And I can see that what is happening now is almost legalizing illegality.
In his contribution, Magnus Abbey Rivers called the attention of the Senate to the similar group in his state.
So I want to lend my voice to this motion and to add that the situation in Rivers State should also be considered along with the situation in Kogi State. And to also plead, sir, that we should get the Attorney General of the Federation involved. Let us call these people, let us meet with them, let us know what they want to do and how we can do it in a manner that is consistent with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Also, Senator Victor Ume Anambra said the vigilante group has been a success in the state. He urged the Senate to limit the proscription of such parallel group to states where they constitute threat to citizens.
Vigilante services have worked in some states of the Federation in helping to maintain peace and security in those states. I give you Anambra State as an example. So I want us to treat the issue of Kogi as a special case. And in those areas where we have serious security challenges in the country, where these vigilante groups have posed threats to lives of other people and free movement of people, action should be taken against them in those states. And as they come up in other states, we can expand our intervention.
A cross-section of the senator said Kogi's situation continued to escalate and risk going out of hand, but they have ever noted that the Kogi saga need not to be treated in isolation, as what is currently playing out is part of the bigger problem.
We must learn a lesson. If we do not stop everything and address this matter, we will wake up one day and our country will not be there, God forbid. People are discouraged. People don't appear to have confidence in our security operatives. Why? Because there are certain issues on ground that need to be addressed. Mr. President, this is no longer business as usual. As representatives of the people, we must be seen showing concern that we will no longer accept this situation. The matter is beyond boundary of religion, boundary of party, boundary of ethnocentrism, and any other issues you will think about.
On his part, Deputy Senate President Ike Kremadu says the security architecture of the country is largely overstressed, and such making it necessary to have other groups complementing the existing security forces.
And we keep saying that the type of security architecture we have cannot protect our people. So it is in realization of this that almost every government, it's not just Zamfara, it's not just Kogi, that have set up one kind of vigilante or the other. But the danger of these things is that they are not regulated perfectly well. Because a state governor will then set up his own law and then do whatever he wants to do with the law. But if we have a situation where there's an act of National Assembly or an amendment to the Constitution that provides for state police, then the issue of the regulation now comes in. We'll be able to get the best practices from other countries such as Brazil.
Meanwhile, the lawmaker, however, rejected an additional prayer to include Rivers State in the purview of investigation of the committee. From National Assembly Complex, Abuja, Muyiwa Bamdele reporting.
The Federal Executive Council (FEC) has approved the signing of a framework agreement for establishment of African Continental Free Trade Area (AFCFTA) during the forthcoming extraordinary meeting of African Union heads of state and government holding March 21, 2018 in Kigali, Rwanda. Briefing stayed as correspondent after Wednesday's Federal Executive Council meeting, presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment Okechukwu Enalema stated some of the benefits of signing this agreement, which include expanded market access for Nigeria's exporters of goods and services to spur growth and boost job creation, elimination of barriers against Nigerian products, and provide a dispute settlement mechanism for stopping the hostile and discriminatory treatment directed against Nigerian natural and corporate business persons in other African countries. Other benefits include providing a platform for small and medium enterprise integration into the regional economy to accelerate women's empowerment, and providing an expanded platform for Nigerian manufacturers and service providers for connection to regional and continental value chains. The decision to establish the African Continental Free Trade Area (AFCFTA) was taken in 2012 by all heads of state and government of the African Union at their 18th ordinary session. The AFCFTA is the first step in the implementation of AU Agenda 2063, the vision for an integrated, prosperous, and peaceful Africa.
Lovely place, right?
Yes.
What's wrong? You don't look happy.
Take a look around. Why can't my hotel be like this?
I knew something was wrong, but I've got solution.
Solution? What?
Nanet.
Nanet?
Nanet offers you design solutions, building plans and construction, furnishing and equipping, financing, management, audit services, and many more services for a better hospitality business. Nanet, service with a smile.
A coalition of 55 youth organizations across the country under the auspices of Not Too Young to Run movement has taken its demand to the presidential villa to press President Muhammadu Buhari to sign the age reduction bill and fulfill his promises to millions of Nigerian youths. The bill, which has been passed by the National Assembly and 35 state houses of assembly, seeks to reduce the age criteria for the office of the president from 40 years to 35 years, House of Representatives from 30 years to 25 years, and the State House of Assembly from 30 years to 25 years. Contrary to the demand of the movement, the National Assembly retains the age for the governor and Senate at the current 35 years. The group was pressing its demand a day after President Muhammadu Buhari had declined to assent the Electoral Amendment Bill.
I think it will be political suicide for the APC administration to vote no, or for the president to fail to assent to the Not Too Young to Run bill. Let me repeat that it will be political suicide to do so.
The group used the occasion to call on the National Assembly to transmit the constitutional amendment bills to the president for assent within 1 week.
We don't want to believe the president will fail to assent to this bill, because if 35 states have voted in support of the bill, 35 states voted in support of this bill, it means Nigerians have spoken. If 109 senators, 360 in the House of Reps, this bill passed to third majority in the National Assembly, that also shows Nigerians have voted in support of this bill. So if the president is saying no to this bill, this is not electoral amendment for one, because this is constitutional amendment, meaning it went from the national to the state level. So if the president says no, it means the president is saying no to Nigerians. And we're telling the president, don't say no to this bill. Young people worked for your elections in 2015.
Muhammadu Buhari is also very slow when it comes to assenting to bills. There are bills that have been on his table for very long, and so what we are doing is that we want to put pressure on the president to ensure that, look, this is one of those bills that he cannot afford, to just to leave on his table. This is one of those bills that he should make his mind known on it immediately, and we are asking him that he needs to sign. In fact, although the bill reduces the age, for some of us in the movement, our position is very clear. If you are old enough at 18 to be able to make the decision to choose who your leaders are, because you must have a level of intelligence to be able to choose who your leaders are. It means that at 18, you should be old enough to be able to exercise leadership.
Lagos State remains the only state in Nigeria that has not passed the bill. In Abuja, LM Chukwemeka reports.
The Nigerian Meteorological Agency (NIMET) has predicted that cities across the country will be hit by flood this year. Cities to experience flooding this year include the Federal Capital Territory, Calabar in Cross River State, Gombe State, Niger State, and others. According to NIMET, in its 2018 seasonal rainfall prediction unveiled in Abuja, the country will experience earlier than normal rainfall and pockets of dry spells in some other locations. NIMET Director General Professor Sani Mashi warned that flooding might be high in Abuja, parts of Gombe, Yelwa Bida in Niger State, and places along River Niger and Benue with an expected rainfall amount ranging from 800 to 1,600 mm, while rainfall levels above 3,100 mm are likely in Ekiti, Calabar, and places along the coast of the southeast. Professor Mashi said though normal rainfall amounts are expected this year, dry spells during the rainy season may be severe, especially in some parts of the north.
On the predicted annual deviation, what we are saying, what is likely going to see this deviation, that is the difference in the changes from the normal for the part of the country. The expectation is that the country is expected to have normal rainfall season in most places, but there are cases of deviation that we are expecting. The least amount of rain that is within the range of 400 and 800 millimeters are expected across extreme northern part of the country, while the rainfall of above 3,000 meters are expected in coastal areas, particularly areas around Ekiti and Calabar. Abuja, Gombe, Yellow, and Bida, and some other places along the major rivers in the country, particularly the River Niger and Benue, they are expected to have an annual rainfall that will vary in amount between 800 to 1,600 meters. But in general, most places are likely to have normal annual rainfall, with the exception of some few places.
Against this backdrop, Senator Hadi Sirika, the Minister of State for Aviation, who unveiled the 2018 SRP, expressed disappointment that the 2017 predictions NIMET released about the likelihood of flooding several months earlier was neglected, and adequate preparations were not made for the flood that inflicted heavy devastation across the country when it came later in the year. The minister called on all stakeholders to take necessary precautions to reduce the negative impact of possible flooding, especially on agriculture, water resources, and environment sector.
It is established that losses to extreme weather phenomena could be minimized by using early warning information such as NIMET seasonal rainfall prediction. We recall that in 2012, 2016, and 2017, NIMET released the prediction about the likelihood of flooding several months earlier. Very unfortunate, however, adequate preparations were not made, and the flood inflicted heavy devastation when it came later in those years. NIMET's prediction has indicated the rainfall onset and cessation are also expected to be normal. This will lead to a normal length of growing season and normal rainfall amount in most parts of the country. It is necessary to state that the expected normal rainfall in most parts of the country does not rule out the possibility of isolated flash floods due to high intensity rainfall at the peak of the season, especially in places that are naturally prone to flooding. It is therefore very important for all stakeholders to take necessary precautions to reduce the negative impacts, especially on agriculture, water resources, and environment.
NIMET predicted that the length of the growing season will range from 117 days in the extreme north to 287 days in the south, adding that the growing season was expected to be normal in most places and longer than normal in Ikom, Abi, Abuja, Jos, Bida, and Yelwa. Awesome Rafo, Benta Vision.
deaf community in Nigeria have called for the support of the federal government to establish a special university for the over 17 million deaf people in the country. The team leader of the Association for the Deaf in Abuja, Dr. Khadijat Rashid, made the call when some members of the association paid a courtesy visit to the Minister of State for Education, Professor Anthony Anwuka, in Abuja. Dr. Rashid, who is also the Dean, School of Education, Business and Human Services, Gallaudet University, Washington, said the establishment of the university was important to help the hearing-impaired citizens experience university education.
We need a program that services all of their needs so that they can communicate directly, professor to professor, to students, all using sign language. We need full access for deaf people here in Nigeria, just as we have in the United States. We're working with JAM and UC, other government organizations and schools to work in partnership for this endeavor. Thank you.
Registrar Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAM, Professor Ishak Oloide, said the team had met with the board officials and that of the National Universities Commission to fine-tune their demands.
Today we met at the National Universities Commission to fine-tune what they have come to Nigeria to do. And there they made some passionate appeal for certain things. As I did at the NUC, the federal government of Nigeria are done very well in the area of deaf education in Nigeria. Yes, there are room for improvement, but the federal government of Nigeria did well by establishing some 30 years ago Center for Supportive Services for the Deaf at the University of Ilorin.
In his response, Minister of State for Education, Professor Anthony Anwuka, urged the association to tidy up and perfect every document, act quickly, and made headway on their demand.
What remains now for me is to request that you perfect your documentation with NUC. NUC now will package it to the ministry, and that will go forward and know what we will do for it. But it must be a basis for action by the Ministry of Education. That will come through the NUC. Document this your nice vision, house it with the NUC, then the NUC will come to us in the Federal Ministry of Education. From there, we'll go forward and see what we can do to us.
The minister had earlier visited some JAM CBT centers where candidates seeking admission into tertiary institutions are writing their examinations. In Abuja, LM Chukwemeka reports.